Chapter 11 Wangan Outrun. Later on the Wangan, C1 area. Manuel followed Kaido's Countach to the empty ramp to the Wangan in his focus. Each of them had their cell phones on standby, ready to start this battle. Spitfires sat in the passenger seat of Ryosuke's car as both he and Keisuke, along with Akio and Tetsuya, were going along as referees, to make sure Kaido played by the rules. Takumi had decided to ride shotgun with Keisuke, concerned for his friend who was about to risk everything in this all-or-nothing race.
You sure he knows what he's doing?
Spitfire asked Ryosuke. If anyone can pull this off, it's Manuel, Ryosuke responded. He is a speedmaster, and I saw him in that race with Yuya. Though he doesn't know it, me and my brother were there. He was able to handle high speeds then. I don't see why he wouldn't now.
But with all those upgrades Katami did, to the engine and everything, how will he be able to keep control?
It wouldn't be that different from the Speedmaster competition. He clocked in at the finish line near 300 kilometers per hour. That's about 186 miles per hour in Imperial units. Wangan racers reach just about the same speeds, if they can go far enough. And with his new upgrades, I'm sure Manuel can.
Well, yes, but he's never handled a machine that's powerful,
Spitfire said.
Katami told me his car's engine now has over 750 horsepower.
Ryosuke turned pale. Over 750 horsepower? That's insane! That's not just a monster, that's a death machine! What the hell was Katami thinking? Why wasn't I told?
Why don't you ask him?
Spitfire said, pointing out the window. Ryosuke saw the Devil Z with Akio driving and Katami in the passenger seat. Ryosuke gave Spitfire his cell phone. You need to call Katami. We need to have a... Then the cell phone rang. Ryosuke had no choice but to take it from Spitfire and answer it. What?
We are approaching the end of C1. The warm-up phase is over. It's time to decide who's the fastest.
Kaido said.
Everyone's cells are now linked. Consider them like walkie-talkies. Now let's get this started. The battle begins now!
Kaido's Countach rocketed forwards, followed by Manuel's Focus. The Blackbird and the Devil Z followed. Ryosuke and Keisuke gunned their cars' engines, but the Mountain Spec-tuned FD and FC could only go so fast, topping out at 285 kph. The Mazda RX-7 rotaries could not keep up with the other four cars. Damn it! Ryosuke cursed. They're going too fast for my FC to keep up.
Same here, brother,
Keisuke said.
They're leaving my FD in dust.
What do we do now? Takumi asked. Manuel, only Akio and Tetsuya can keep up with you guys. We can't enforce anything. Kaido must have known this all along, Ryosuke said. Our cars are for pass races. They're not tuned properly for the Wangan. We can't stop Kaido from pulling any tricks, and he knew it all along.
Damn it!
Don't worry, I got this, Manuel said. But Manuel, do you have any idea how much more power your car has? What if you can't control it? Ryosuke argued. What if... Don't start thinking that way, Ryosuke, Manuel said flatly. If you worry about losing too much, then you usually end up losing anyway. I can win this. I will win this. The Wangan took a few curves into Shinkanjo as they passed some skyscrapers on the outside of the road. Kaido laughed as Manuel was still in second.
What's wrong, Fernandez? Are you afraid?
In your dreams, Manuel said flatly, hiding his fear. He pushed the pedal down further, and his car came out of the curve, coming up right next to Kaido. Kaido began to turn towards Manuel as if he was going to force him into the wall, but Manuel outfoxed him with some braking and maneuvered around him, passing several semi-trucks. Kaido growled, recovering from his drastic maneuver, and got behind Manuel, trying to catch up. You said the vanishing point, correct, Kirifuda? Manuel asked.
Yes, the vanishing point.
Kaido said.
Why? Having second thoughts already?
You wish, Manuel replied. The blue Ford Focus then took off, gaining more distance from Kaido's ghost-white Countach. Kaido put more pressure on the gas pedal. At first he was starting to catch up, the Devil Z and Blackbird close behind, but there was traffic ahead. Then it didn't matter. The cars weaved in and out of traffic as they passed a rest stop.
Damn it!
Kaido muttered. He started to pour on more speed, trying to overtake the Focus, but he just couldn't do it. Manuel and his Focus continued to inch further and further away.
You really think you can beat me, punk? You are wrong!
He pushed the pedal to the floor, shifting into 5th gear, and the Countach took off, passing the blue Ford Focus. If that's the way you want to play it. Manuel then shifted into his 6th gear, catching up easily. I can dance like this all night, old man, Manuel said. Why don't you quit while you've still got your dignity? Kaido growled. So far, the race was even. He was thankful his car didn't have turbos. He would not make the same mistake his inexperienced son had made. He pulled behind Manuel, starting to draft. Manuel then saw what he was going for. Kaido was planning to ram him, make him lose control. Manuel switched the Focus into another lane as they went around a few more semi-trucks. He could hear his blood pounding in his ears.
I refuse to be beaten by a punk like you!
Kaido snarled.
I will not let my legacy die!
Manuel knew he needed to be cautious. They were already over 280 kilometers an hour. He needed to wait for an opening in traffic. For some reason, it was heavier in this tunnel. Manuel and Kaido weaved through the traffic, and that's when he noticed that even the Devil Z was starting to have trouble keeping up. So was the Blackbird, for that matter. Manuel took a quick glimpse at his speedometer, and it was over 300 kilometers an hour. From that moment on, Manuel knew he was on his own. They got onto the Wangan area, and the road began to clear as most of the traffic cars got into the exit lane. They were rapidly approaching Rainbow Bridge that led over the bay. The road was now clear, and Manuel knew it was now or never. He floored the accelerator.
You will not beat me, you American brat!
Kaido snapped, putting the pedal down, the Countach catching up. Both cars race alongside each other neck and neck for the moment. Kaido was going at his top speed. Then he noticed something. Manuel's car continued to push ahead. The distance continued to steadily increase.
What is this thing?
Kaido gasped.
This is unbelievable! I've chosen a monster for an opponent!
That's when the Countach's performance computer beeped loudly in warning. Kaido was pushing the engine too hard. He looked at the RPM gauge. It was over the red line. Any further and it would blow. He couldn't believe this. He was going to lose. Kaido eased off the accelerator, enraged.
You want to kill yourself, Fernandez, that's your choice. We'll meet at the next exit.
The distance between them began to increase even more as Kaido eased off the accelerator, and eventually, Manuel approached the vanishing point, claiming his win.